So I hope you all had a great weekend. And we have some messages. Ujjain, hard luck. Never mind, we will sort it. Good score, otherwise, very good attempt. Sahil, when is your exam? Okay. Let's start the test for today. And here you have your first question on the screen. Less than 2.5 minutes, like we always say. Try that you are timing yourself. Try that you note down the time for each and every question that you are taking so that you can build up a pattern for yourself that normally I saw reading, writing blanks in these many minutes, or this is extra time that I am taking, and push yourself to solve the question within 2.5 minutes, because that's really very important. And try to participate as much as you can. Put your answers in the chat box, a request for all of you. And here you have the time to start your first question, and please put your answers as solve it. Okay, let's start the discussion. Post your answers, those who haven't. But otherwise, I can see really good answers. Very well done. Those who have selected wrapping in the second one, make sure that you always need a helping verb before you put continuous form of verb, like she is wrapping the gift. You cannot say she wrapping the gift. You need is, was, am, are, were, something when you use ing. Without that, you cannot. So, like we always say, create a sentence, generally a very simple sentence to help yourself. That do you need anything to add to complete the sentence, or is it fine even if you just select wrapping? So, just frame wrapping in a sentence, an easy one for yourself. The first one says dash European settlement in North America. North American tribes populated specific areas of the continent. So they have written this in simple present tense. North American tribes populated. Dash European settlement, the options we have is ahead of. Like we say, ahead of the tournament, the teams are practicing very hard. So ahead of means because they have the tournament ahead. So that is how we use ahead of. Prior to is used when you have a time period prior, or something like you want to say before. So prior to is before happening of something. Until is when you use with time period, like until 1960s, until 1950s. And up to is when you want to say the highest limit, like up to 1959 means not after that. That's the highest limit. So here we are not talking about time period. So we'll go with prior to, means before the European settlement in North America happened. Native American tribes populated specific areas of the continent, and this is past tense, as we said. So we should be talking before something. Their cultures, food traditions, and beliefs dash up in their environment. So, as I explained, for wrapping to be the answer, it has to be their cultures, food traditions, and beliefs were wrapping up in the environment. Without were or are, you cannot put ing form of verb. Had been, like we discussed, that been is used when you have a continuous time period, that for so many years this has been happening. Here they haven't talked about any time period, so we cannot go with been. Will be trapped is future tense, but we notice the tense that they are following. They were following past tense in the first sentence, so we cannot go with future. So what are we left with is their beliefs were wrapped up in their environment. Plains Indians, for instance, haunted buffalo and used the entire animal for food, clothing, shelter. Though it is believed that Native Americans engaged in battles between tribes prior to European settlement, the presence of the Europeans helped spawn conflicts and circumstances that would impact the lives of Native Americans across the continent. We read the blank, the sentence. The sentence is complete even without the blank. That means we need adverb here. How would it impact? It will impact dramatically, greatly, suddenly, or noticeable. So noticeable is not ending with ly. That cannot be the answer. Suddenly impact, suddenly is like with time period, in no time, unexpectedly, suddenly impact. Great is more used with size of the impact, and dramatically is when you want to say a big impact, then we say dramatically, and here the answer will be dramatically impact. We generally use the adverb dramatically with impact most of the a lot of times, but here, because we don't want to go with the size in the sense like a numerical size of the impact, but yes, we can say it is a big impact, so we'll go with dramatically impact the lives of Native Americans. Dash the 16th and 17th centuries, the Europeans sailed the Atlantic Ocean in hopes of settling new land. All over is used for place, like you can say the toys are all over the place. All over Australia, this law is valid. So when you talk about a place and we use all over, within is limit. So within this time period, you have to complete the task. That is, you put a limit on completing the task. Since is when you want to say from the starting of, like since 1948, he had been living in this house. So means from that time period till now. That is since. Throughout, we use throughout when you want to say all the years in that particular time. So that's it, throughout. We can even use throughout with throughout the country. That means everywhere. So here it will be throughout the 16th and 17th centuries, means all those 200 years. Europeans sailed the Atlantic Ocean in hopes of settling new land and obtaining resources. They were sailing at the ocean, across, against, or beyond. So it will be, all of you are right in selecting across, because across means everywhere, from one side to the other and from there to another side, because they were just hoping to find some land to settle down and they were hoping to find some resources. So that is why it will be across, because there's not one place that they started and they ended at. Across means everywhere, from one side to the other. Right, so these are the answers. I'll go through it once again. Ahead of, like I gave the example, ahead of the tournament they're practicing, so something like that. Prior to is before, until and up to generally come with time periods. Wrapping cannot come without helping verb. Will is future tense. What we need is past tense. Been always comes when you have continuous years mentioned, but here we did not have that. So we'll go with were wrapped. Again, simple past tense that the sentence first used. Dramatically impact, because suddenly doesn't make sense. We are not talking about it was sudden or it was gradual. Slow impact or suddenly, that's not the topic here. Noticeable does not have ly. Greatly more goes with numbers, like how great, or like when we say great personality, but greatly in a sense will go with numbers. All over with place, within for limits. Since means from that time, but throughout means everywhere. Means all those years, or all over the place, all that time period. So throughout means whatever is written afterwards, then all those times or all those places. And then across, because we don't have one fixed destination or one fixed starting point. It's from one place to another and then again from one to another, because it's a long time period that they kept sailing. So it will be across the ocean. No, what was it? Yeah, across the Atlantic Ocean. So throughout 1970 example, within 1960, and so throughout what is the perspective when we write throughout is all. There's no like 1 year from 1960 to 70, or 2 years, or the beginning part or the middle part or the end part. Throughout means all those 10 years it went on. That's the meaning of throughout. No, Hasib, because since does not mean since is it's not like since cannot come because there are 2 centuries given. That's not the point. Since can come when you want to say from that time till now. The second part of the sentence, it would have been since 16th centuries Europeans have sailed in that ocean. Means from starting from 16th and 17th centuries till now they are sailing there. That is the use of since. So you should have the second part in that way. Okay. Any other confusions, anyone? Good attempt, Raj. Note down whatever mistake you have done. I hope Hasib it's clear now, and Muhammad to you too. Any confusions, anybody else? Okay, great. No worries. So here is our question number 2. Try to solve it within 2.5 minutes. So within means not more than that. That's the limit. Within 2.5 minutes, and put your answers in the chat box. Very good. Comparatively easier one. Nice. Let's have a look. So let's see, this says the Chinese New Year is an important holiday dashed by Chinese people all around the world. So for holidays, we very easily go with the word we celebrate. So we'll say it is an important holiday celebrated by Chinese people. Started is a very general word. We don't start holidays. Start more goes with exact word for start is start the machine, start the engine. So these kind of things that started. We use generally with a lot of other words, but in verbal language, it's fine. But when you write, you have to go for specific words. Commemorate does not fit grammatically. We say this day is celebrated by people. We don't say is celebrate by people. So we cannot go with first form of verb. And holidays are not remembered, they are celebrated. During this time, Chinese families dash to spend time with one another. So these are facts, right? And facts are always in present time, present tense. And what do? They spend time with each other. We will not say they used to spend time or they spent time. Doesn't make sense because this is a fact. Every year they do the same. So it should be in simple present tense. Chinese families gathering, again, ing needs helping verb. Chinese families are gathering or were gathering, then ing can come. Assemble is not a word that we can use for families. We can say people assembled in the hall, something like that, but not families assembled to spend time. Assemble also goes with assembling the parts of a machinery. That is also one use of assemble. They get together to spend time with one another or they meet to spend time. The better word is get together. Meet, we can also use it like I met my friend in the park. That's not intentionally spending time to like intentionally spending time with one another. That's occasionally also. But when you do a get together, then you intentionally want to spend time with each other. So families spend time with one another. Together they celebrate the past year. So this was also a hint with the first blank. They also wish each other good luck for the new year. The date of the Chinese New Year changes every year. However, it falls sometime between January 20 and February 21. The sentence is complete. It falls between. So what we need is an adverb again. Let's look at the options. Seldom is also an adverb. Always is also an adverb. Rarely. On occasion won't really be a formal adverb. So we cannot select that. Rarely is not regularly. Always means every time, and seldom also means rarely. So it will be always because they say that every year it changes. And however means it changes every day, but it is between these 2 days. The use of however here makes sense that we have to go with the opposite, that it changes, but at least fixed within these 2 days. So always falls sometime between this and that. It is because they used to follow Chinese lunar calendar, which is different from the USA. This calendar is called this. Like many holidays, there are people who celebrate the Chinese New Year. For this holiday, many people wear red. They even dash red decorations. So again, these all are facts in simple present tense. So we also need simple present tense. They even dash red decorations. Tolerate is a negative word, won't really go with decorations. Put down, throw up, or put up. So they are talking about hanging the decorations or that they decorate their houses with red colors. So it will be they put up red decorations. Put down will be when the festival is over and they wrap up the things, that is put down. Throw up won't go for decorating something. In Chinese culture, the color red dash good luck. So again, simple present tense. Has represented is past perfect, depicted is past, symbolize good luck or stands for good luck. So it will be the color red stands for good luck because symbolize will be like it is a symbol of. And stands for is more relevant the way the sentence has been framed. And also, sorry, for symbolize, it has to be symbolizes grammatically, because color red is singular, so it has to be symbolizes to be grammatically correct. That's why we'll go with stands for. Okay, these are the answers. Any questions, anybody? Seldom will be more academic than rarely. Sahil. If we'll have to choose among them, I think we should go with seldom. Good attempt, Raj. Anybody else? Any questions? All good? Yes, Akash. So you can frame any sentence where you want to put ing. It won't come without helping verb. So like we can say she's singing at the stage. She is singing at the stage. The second blank, so people dash to spend time. There were two options: people meet or get together. Meet is not always to spend time. You can occasionally also meet somebody somewhere while you were going. So when they intentionally wanted to spend time with one another, so you'll go with get together, because get together is kind of a planned meeting where we invite somebody for spending time, that you want to spend quality time with that person. That is get together, right? Any other doubts, anyone? So seldom means rarely only, like I seldom drive, like I rarely drive. Depict means show in past tense, like this picture depicted the culture of Russia. So depicted, past tense of show. All good. All right. Let's see what we have next. Question number 3, a comparatively smaller one, 2.5 minutes, and put your answers, please. Please create a sentence with affected, all of you. A simple sentence with affected. Write it in the chat box, any sentence using the verb affected. Like, tsunami has drastically affected this region. Won't it be? COVID has affected many people. Do we ever use on with affected? Do we use on with affected? COVID has affected on many people. So I keep on saying that always check prepositions, because sometimes things just sound, they're very easy. But when you put your checks into them, you realize that no, it's not matching. So with the word affected, we never use on, but we do have the preposition given in this sentence. So never ever miss the prepositions, no matter how confident you are on your answer. Please double check always. The terrible strain and disillusionment of World War First dash heavily, and I always tell you not to read the ly words when you're selecting your answers. So the terrible strain, and always shortcut. We don't need two words. We understand that terrible is negative, strain is negative. So the terrible strain of World War One dash on French cultural life. So obviously it has done something negative for the cultural life because it's a war. And that word should match with on. The terrible strain affected cannot go with on. We cannot measure cultural life. Cultural life is not something that cannot be measured. And terrible strain became cultural life doesn't make sense. The strain means pressure. The negativity cannot become cultural life. So it will be weighed on. The meaning of weighed on, what is the perspective of using weighed on means it had a deep impact on. That is the use of weighed on here. Means it put an impact, it put weight on, it affected like you selected, but because of on, we cannot go with that. So the terrible strain of World War First weighed on French cultural life during the interwar era, leading to the dash of the literary and artistic movement called Dadaism. So when you have a blank before of, we should be selecting noun there. Formation of the movement, development of the movement, settlement, agreement. So for the word movement, we don't form movements, settle or agreement movements. We generally say developed. This movement was initiated by, that's one word that go with movements, or we can say developed by, because the way they have used the word is leading to the development of the literary and artistic movement. So development, because literary things and artistic things can develop in the form of a movement. That's why we should go with development of this movement called Dadaism. Its program of calculated nonsense was inspired by a deep revulsion, dash the insanity of war. So its program means program of the movement was inspired by a deep dash revulsion dash the insanity of war. So what do we need here? That this movement was inspired by a deep revulsion through the insanity, by the insanity, against the insanity, or with. So obviously this is negative, insanity of war. Insane is person who's mad, or when you are mad about something, we say insane. So obviously we'll do things against this madness for wars. So this was inspired so that we can make people against that this all is rubbish, this nonsense of war should be stopped. And the positivist view, and this also makes sense, positive view that the world had sense and meaning. Dadaism soon dash to the more durable surrealist movement. Whenever we have a connector within two commas, we should always read it in the beginning of the sentence before means after the full stop, sorry. So they said we wanted to show people that the word world had sense and meaning, though deism soon dashed to the more durable movement, whose principal theorist and founder was this person. This was one movement which soon gave way. Past tense is what we need. Create path is present tense, but this is talking about World War One, so we cannot select present tense. Movement yielded another movement. So you yield is what we produce in the field for agriculture. That is the one use of yield. Otherwise, it what comes out, what is the result. So yielded is generally that goes with produce. And this movement took out another movement. So movement cannot take out another movement, but yes, one movement can be a way for the other movement to develop. So give way to is a collocation. These three words come together, and they can also be used in the past form. Gave way to. Gave way to means this was the basis for the next one to form on. The declared goal of surrealist writers and artists was to free man's unconscious impulses, dash the distorting controls of rational reflection. Not a single word was important, just that what do we use with free? I want to make him free from the shackles of poverty. So with free, we use the conjunct preposition from. So it will be free from something. We make something free from the other thing. That's the only important part. So I'll go through it once again. The first one, without with on, we cannot use affected. Measured and became doesn't go with the context. So we'll say weighed on, because these words go together and the meaning is have a deep impact on. Second one, leading to the dash of, we needed a noun, and we are talking about development of artistic movement or development of literary movement. So the movements can be developed because they have the adjectives which can be developed. Art and literature can be developed. And because we are talking about inspired by means something positive, and they are inspired by something against the war, because war won't be a good thing. And then deism soon gave way to. As I said, you should read though in the beginning of the sentence after the full stop. So you should not read it here. Though deism soon gave way to another movement. Gave way to means it became the basis on which the other thing was formed. And with free, we say free from something. So that's why it should be from. ly words written before or after the blank, they are never important. You should never read them to get your answer. They're just there to confuse us. See, Kashraf, it depends. If you are able to save the time in some other sort of questions, then yes, you can spend 30 seconds more on this question. That's why we keep on saying that you should try your best in every question, no matter, what happens is sometimes the question is easy. We do it very quickly in 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, but then we again reread it and reread it. And again, we spend 2 minutes on that. But you should be saving those 30 seconds from there in case you get stuck somewhere. So you should have some extra time in hand for those questions. Right? Any confusions, anyone? And for all the blanks, you might have noticed that in all the blanks, no matter they're required or not, I check the tense first. Positive, negative, singular, plural, tense, so that it makes easier for me to eliminate or select out of the options given. Otherwise, if I start giving equal importance to all the options, this is going to be very, very time consuming. So that's what you have to do in the exam. All good, shall we move ahead? Go through the grammar videos, Ben. Once again, you need to be on tips with your tenses. It's very important. All right, question number 4. And here you have 2.5 minutes for it. should be done, and well done, well attempted. So let's discuss. This says Indiana dash state of the United States of America. Talking about somewhat politics. So we generally say constituent assembly, constituent state. And yes, you are right. Constituent just means one part of the component. Won't be used in politics sense. Like we cannot say this city is a component of US. Constituent is better way. Same way, element or section. If we talk about one city of New South Wales, so let's say Sydney is one section of Australia, or Sydney is an element of Australia. Sydney is a component of Australia. Is not the words that we use for city, states, or countries. But yes, constituent is used in politics, so we will go with that. It dash Lake Michigan and the state of Michigan to the north, Ohio to east, Kentucky to the south, and Illinois to the west. It dash, so it is singular, and all this is fact, that east it has this, west it has that. These things are facts, they cannot change every other day. So it encircle, it is singular, encircle cannot come, because when noun is singular we need a verb with s. Borders is fine, bounds is fine, and as I said, because it's a fact, it cannot be in past tense. Facts are in simple present tense. So what do we use with places? This place borders or bounds. So borders again is a geographical word that goes with places, so we should go with that. Bounds is like I am bound by this document, something that legally or morally makes it a compulsion for us, that's bound by. Then it says this to the east, west, north, south, making it an dash part of the American Midwest. So with an, A-E-I-O-U is what we need. Making it an undivided part, included part, integral part, or important part. So when we have options and two of them are synonyms, we should select our answers out of those two synonyms. Out of integral and important, what is more academic? Integral is more academic, so we should go with that. Integral part means very important part. Integral and part are two words that are used together very, very commonly. Integral part of my life, integral part of my study. So we commonly write these things together. Making it an integral part of the American Midwest, it ranks 38th dash the 50 US states. So we'll say it ranks 38 out of the 50 states, right? And one meaning of among is out of. So we'll go with it ranks 38th out of, that is among the 50 states in the terms of area, and except for Hawaii is the smallest state west of these mountains. With the name that is generally thought to mean land of the Indians, Indiana was admitted on this December as a 19th state of the Union. Its capital has been at Indianapolis 1825. Those who don't know this rule, please write it down whenever you have present perfect. And if you have to write a time period with that, you always go with since. Since means from that till now. And you always use has and have, present perfect with since. So if your sentence starts with since 1825, and there's a blank, you'll always go with has or have, depending on the noun is singular or plural, but you will never go with had in that case. Okay, so it will be since 1825, its capital has been at Indianapolis. Any other questions? Bounds means like this document has bound me. Bound means now you have to follow everything that it says. So you are bound by. That's the use of bound. Capitals, then it will be have, Kashif. That's what I said. Has or have, depending on the noun is singular or plural, but never had. So if it will be its capitals have been at. Constituent would be same, like if I talk about politics, it would be constituent assembly, constituent member of parliament, constituent state, constituent city, means like one part of. And that's how we use the word constituent in for places, or even we use for human beings, like he's a constituent member of the parliament, like one member of that parliament. Right? Anybody else, any questions? No, it's all fine. So here we have question number 5, and you have 2.5 minutes. More careful when you're selecting connectors. When you are giving substitutes, like you should not do this, you should do this. You don't say however in that case, you say rather. You should not study chemistry, rather you should focus on physics. You won't say however you should focus, because however is like but. So you won't say that you should not study physics, but you should focus on history. What's the meaning of but there? You're not going opposite. You're giving priority to one thing, or you are saying that this is not right, that is right. I'll explain in this question as well. This says, my aim is to present a conception of justice which generalizes and dash to a higher level of abstraction. So we have singular noun here. My aim is to present a conception of justice which generalizes and dash to a higher level of abstraction. Removes to a, is there anything negative? And moreover, concept cannot be removed. And carries to a higher level, yes, we can use carry with level, carries to a higher level or carries to a lower level. Conveys goes with conveys to the audience or conveys to the people there. Convey to means there should be somebody to take it, then we can convey it. So convey has its own meaning and conveys to a higher level of abstraction. We cannot convey things to level of abstraction. And excludes, again, there's nothing negative going on, so we'll go with carries to, means my aim is to present a conception of justice which generalizes and carries to a higher level of abstraction the familiar theory of the social contract. Dash to, sorry, dash do this, we are not to think of the original contract. In order to do this makes sense. For do this, with for we use ing. For doing this, not for do this. Again, with of also we go with ing. For the sake of doing this, we cannot say for the sake of do this. As a means to generally is a proper phrase, which means as a means to an end. That's the full phrase, which means when you don't have any other option, or that's the best option you can do to achieve whatever you want to, but cannot suit here. So we'll generally say, in order to do this, we are not to think of the original contract as one, to enter a particular society or to set up a particular form of government. Dash, the idea is that principles of justice for the basic structure of society are the object of the original agreement. So there, whenever you have connector with a comma, always make sure that it is only and only based on context. You need to understand the relationship between those two sentences whenever you have to get the answer for a conjunction with a comma, or a connector rather with a comma. So it says, we need not think this way. The idea is to do this, or the idea is this, not that. So this is substitution. We'll go with rather, but it does not fit here. They are not going contrast. They are telling you that this is not the right way. Rather, the idea is this. They are the principles that free and rational persons concerned to further their own dash would accept in an initial position of equality. That principles that free and rational persons concerned to further their own. So what can people have their own? Their own regard. A lot of people can have one regard, not possible. Attentiveness, again, one thing, people having their attentiveness. Regards, interests. So people will have their own interests, or they will want to further means increase. They want to know more about their interests. So further their own interests would accept in an initial position of equality. These principles are to dash all further agreements. They specify the kinds of social cooperation that can be entered into and the forms of government that can be established. So this was very important here. These principles are to dash all further agreements, and these are the further things that depend on these principles. So these principles are to manage. Can principles manage anything? Can principles contain anything? Can principles regulate? Principles lose. Lose again is negative, that we have lost something. We won't go with negative answer. And principles cannot contain agreements. Contain is like this this book contains, or this box contains something. Again, principles cannot manage, but principles can regulate. Regulate means control. So these principles, because they want to say that these principles are the basis on which further agreements take place, means they are controlled by these principles. They cannot go out of what these principles say. So in that sense, they have used the word regulate here. The principles are to regulate all the further agreements. Right, I'll go through it once again. The first one, we use the word carries to a level. These words go together. And based on the context, they were talking about conception. That means concept of justice. So we cannot say it conveys or removes or excludes. Removes and excludes are negative. The sentence was just giving an explanation in a positive way. And conveys goes with conveys to someone, but there is no someone to take the thing we are conveying. Second, in order to do this make sense, the words match with each other. Whenever we have a substitute, like I gave example, I do not want to go, I do not want to step into dancing, rather my field is singing. So rather, you don't say however there, because however means you're going from positive to negative. There's nothing negative about singing or positive about dancing. It's just that that's not, you're giving the substitution, not this, that. So there's no however to be used there. People will have their own interests, because people is general, persons generally, not one two three. So interests also will be general in plural sense. We cannot have one thing there. And the last one, these principles are to regulate further agreements. Regulate means control, and control in the sense that you cannot go out of those principles. Thus is used when you conclude something, when you want to say in this way. That is the meaning of thus. No, Kashif, rather can be used alone as well. And the than that goes with rather is THAN, not EN. Certainly is when you want to say surely. This is certainly going to happen. That means this is for sure going to happen or surely going to happen. That is the use of certainly. However is but. So here if you put, there is no sense of but here, because we are not going positive to negative. We are just saying that instead of this, you should understand it in this way. All right. And the last question for reading, writing blanks. So you have again 2.5 minutes. So if we move from positive to negative, or the next sentence is a contrast to the first sentence, then you can use however. The easy way is you can put but. If but fits, then you can use however if it is given in the sentence, in the options, sorry. Okay, let's look at the answers. I might need your help in this discussion. Both experiences have constituted stereotypes of diasporas. Now, those experiences dash in the Western tradition. So, always make it a point that when you have additional information given between two commas, you're not reading it when you're reading and understanding the sentence, because that will break the flow. So both experiences have constituted stereotypes of diasporas, dash other notable cases from East developed in medieval and modern times. So both experiences dash in the Western tradition. Settled is used for lots of different things, like people have settled on this area or in this place, in this country. That's also one meaning of settlement. Settled, have you settled in your life? That's also one meaning of settled. Here we're talking about both experiences dash in the tradition. In the tradition. Settled in the tradition, there are no experiences that can settle in any tradition. Based, go with on. Rooted in tradition, developed in the tradition. Rooted in goes with when you're talking about traditions, customs, values, culture. When you say this thing is rooted in their culture, rooted in their tradition. We don't say this thing is developed in the tradition. We can say these traditions are developed according to something, but not experience can be developed in the tradition. Experience can be developed from the tradition, from the um, study, from the time, but not in the tradition. So it will be rooted, always goes with rooted in. When you want to say that this thing is a part of this thing, then we say rooted in. The noble car, rooted goes with in. So now we won't read this part because it is solved and we don't need it. Both experiences have constituted stereotypes of diasporas. Dash other notable cases from East developed. So other notable cases developed. We have subject, we have verb. So when we have the options, despite comes when you only have noun, there is no subject and verb, then despite cannot come. When you have subject plus verb, both the things, then we use though or although or even though, anything with though, whatever is given. So we have here cases developed in somewhere. So we have noun, we have subject, plus we have the verb. That's why we'll go with though. There were lots of other cases, but still these both experiences have constituted the stereotypes of diasporas. For instance, through China's long history, the spread of its population has often been dashed as a positive or at least neutral phenomenon. So with has been goes ing or ed form. Population has been distinguished as regarding, as perceived or viewed. So we need ed here because it's a passive statement, not active one. Population is not doing any work, so we cannot go with ing. Population has been distinguished as perceived or view. So view is like generally view. View would be like a view of the mountains, view of the hills. That is more like viewed. Perceived as means understood as. So the change in or the increase in the population of China is generally seen as a positive thing. So seen would be generally understood as positive change or at least a neutral phenomenon. Wherever the ocean waves touch, there are overseas Chinese. India's influence has expanded, especially through the Indian Ocean region, through the settlement of its population, dash its own borders. So its population is settling, dash its own borders, behind, beyond, apart from, before. So border is a limit. So when we have limit, we can go with beyond because the population is going out of the borders. So it will be beyond its own borders. More generally, worldwide, since the 19th century, the increase in the population of unskilled laborers migrating to work in agricultural or industrial jobs. All these words were not important. The rule that we did with since comes present perfect. If you look at present perfect, we only have one present perfect. So we should go with that. Since the 19th century, people are migrating to work in industrial or agricultural or industrial jobs has drawn particular attention. That's it. So again, the rule with since comes present perfect, has or have. So rooted goes with in, rooted to the, no, rooted in the. Especially when we talk about something which is about, as I said, in the past, in the culture, in the tradition, in the values, then we use the word rooted in. Okay. Second one, as I explained, despite comes when we have noun written after, not a verb. And though, even though, although come when you have subject plus verb. And yet is used. So I was expecting you to know the meanings of yet. Yet is used when you want to say something has started and it is still continuing. Then we use the word yet. Like it is, no, sorry, that is still. Yet would be, sorry. When you are expecting something to happen in the future, but that thing has not happened till now, that is when we use yet. So for example, you can say, my friend is yet to come. So you are expecting that your friend will come, but he or she hasn't arrived. That is when you can use yet. Here, we are not expecting anything to happen in the future. And even so is like, if I frame a sentence with even so, I think you're confusing it with even though. Even though is not the meaning of even so. Anyone with an example of a sentence? Oh, let me look at. Like when we want to say, wait, let me look for an example. So this is not the most exciting of places, but even so. So like even then can be, yeah, it was raining, but even so we had to go out. Even then we had to, like, we cannot do anything about that. We had to do something. That is even so. Thank you, Faraz. Right, any other questions? Did I miss something? Has been comes with, been comes with continuous, as I said, both with ing and with ed. It depends upon if the sentence is active or passive. If the subject is doing the work, like children had been playing in the garden, so children were playing. That's why you can say. Here they said population has been regarding, means population is doing the work, which is not possible. That's why it is passive sentence. Savita, are you clear with despite now? Despite comes if we say that despite the notable cases, comma, the verb should not be there, just the noun. Then we can go with despite. But when you have subject plus verb both, then we have to go with something with though, even though, although, or only though. I was about to ask. I just thought I will finish this and then I'll ask you, what are you doing here? Wait, let me finish. In the passage it is mentioned pop has been, then we can use has been the last line. No, has been would be like just since. With since, you always have to select present perfect. And here, like somebody was asking me, laborers, they have used has. No, the noun is not the laborers. The noun is increase in the population of laborers. So whatever is written before of is your noun. So what is here noun is increase, and for increase they have said has drawn particular attention. Migrating is the verb, Johnson, there. So they say that since the 19th century, the increase in the populations of laborers migrating to work, in that sense that those people who were going to work in that time period. So they cannot use present perfect here, because it's a trend that they want to show, that they were going to work. They were increasing the number of people who were going to work at that time. Okay. Then we will share the good news first, or Faraz will share the good news. I know everything. I even came to know, where are you? Okay, wait a second. Okay, you can unmute yourself for us. And a very, very big, heartiest congratulations from all of us to you.
Miss, would you mind if I turn my camera on?
Yeah, no problem, you can.
Can you see me now, Miss?
Yes, everybody can.
Miss, I can't say anything. What you have done for all of us, like the way that you treat us, I think is completely amazing. The way that you have been
Oh,
teaching
thank
all of
you.
us, that's completely outstanding. My
Thank
exam
you.
experience, I think it's been a journey. The way that I've been participating and contributing as pretty much actively in every class, that really helped me. But I was struggling a lot. I was losing my confidence. But I think I understand how this needs to be done. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. If someone is getting 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, even 3 out of 6, a silly mistakes can cause you lots of trouble in your exam. I think there are 3 things that I've learned. The first thing is just be confident, be calm. And if you are solving something, and if you have done something wrong, and you are so confused about it, so I think that would really cause trouble for you for your next questions. So you have to be very calm. When you press next, you take that question that this is your new question for this exam. Don't worry about whatever happened in previous. And I think this is what made myself into big trouble. I was constantly thinking about, oh, I messed it up in question 3. No, it wasn't like that. But Miss, your all rules, everything, you were in my brain. You won't believe, like I had my exam. First exam I attended on 13th of November. The second one I got it on 20th of November. The third one I got it on, I think 25 or 26th of November, last Saturday. And I knew it. The first one I got it right when I walked out. And I was so confident. I said, oh man, I'm going to be calling Varun Bhai. I'm going to let him know. Varun Bhai, I got it, man. Thank you. I'm so happy. But I think like I didn't work right. And when I got my results, I didn't really actually know what needs to be done. So I've sent my report card to Varun Bhai, and he said, Faraz, you messed it up in your SWT. So this is what I want to tell to everyone. Remember one thing, if you have your weaknesses, work on that. But at the same time, don't think that your strengths are your strength. Because once your weakness, you mess it up there, you might won't be able to perform good where your strengths are. So you have to be very emphasized. What I made mistake, I didn't even think about SWT. My focus was completely on reading. I have to
Yeah.
focus on reading, forget everything else. No, that's a big mistake. Please don't do it. Focus on reading, but at the same time, make sure all those modules you are giving a specific time, keep practicing. So I think that was some of the really key point that I've learned. And time management. Time management is one of the key points. Miss, you won't believe, Miss, I want to say something really good about you. The way that you taught me, taught everyone here, even though sometimes I feel so embarrassed, like even there was a time I remember I was exhausted and there was a blank. And after N, I picked up some word, it started with T. And you were saying, Faraz, I wasn't expecting this from you. And I got so upset. I said, man, no, she is there out there. And I've been taking classes from last 3 months. And I cannot do these silly mistakes. Like this, like my energy level, my enthusiasm, my passion. I just wanted to make sure if my teacher is happy, I will perform an exam. And I want
Thank
everyone to
you so
please
much.
contribute in your reading session. Please do not just sit there. Do not, I've seen lots of people, they just want to do right answers and that's it. Come on,
Yeah.
man, crack some jokes. If you have any question, don't worry, ask it. If you're not even asking here, if you're shy here, how are you going to perform good in your exam? So
Yeah.
just, I think my confidence made me do this, and I knew it, Miss, trust me, I got it in first attempt. I messed it up SWT. So that's pretty much it, Miss. I just wanna do clap for you. I've got no one here,
Oh, thank you.
but thank you so much, Miss. I don't have anything now, but I'll be coming Sydney next week, and I'll see you in person.
Definitely.
And I will record a very good review. I'm telling you, no one has ever recorded for Language Academy. That's my
Just a
promise.
true one. Just a true one. That's all that we need. That's it. But
True
thank
one,
you
Miss.
so
100%, 100%
Thank
true one.
you
I'm telling
so
you,
much
once
for-
I'm gonna record my video, you all will see that what I'm telling about Language Academy, or even you just have to push hard, guys. Do not lose confidence. Trust me, I've got my life back. I've been to gym. I've been feeling so relaxed. I wanted to even cry, but it didn't happen because when I saw the results,
Yeah.
and I was so happy. And I wanted to, I just want to go and see Varun Bhai. I want to give him a hug. I want to see all of you. I'm so happy. I'll probably see you guys next week. So I don't want to take your time. I think I just wanted to make sure I give confidence, and I just want to share the journey that I have been through. And I think Hard Time G has been, he just messaged me that how was exam. So I think I've just explained. It was pretty good, guys. Just keep on your top game. Don't lose hope. Just make sure manage your time, please. And at the same time, I'm telling again, do not think that your strengths or I am good at it. Not a problem. I'm gonna crack it down in exam. No, keep practicing, guys. SWD, I thought I didn't even take seriously. Miss, I got really good results. I got 90 out of 90 in speaking and listening. I got 85 out of in writing, and I missed 4 points in reading and silly mistakes and reorder paragraph. Miss, every single moment I was thinking about you. You would not believe that. Trust me, Miss, there were blanks from to 2. I closed my eyes. I said, there you go. There was a because, there you go. Literally 8 minutes, I got my reading and writing blanks. That was a miracle for me. Like I took almost 16 minutes to solve this in my second attempt. So I think I was very well prepared. And that's it. I don't want to take your time more.
It's just about, you know, how active and how positive you are at that point of time. If you start, if one thing, you know, you have to accept that there is going to be something difficult. Not everything is going to be a piece of cake. It's an exam at the end of the day. They are going to balance it in a way, like something easy, something moderate, something difficult. So you have to understand that, okay, if one thing is difficult, that's okay. Not all of the things are going to be difficult. So you have to maintain that spirit in the exam. And if you're able to do that, generally what happens is something gets conflicting, something comes difficult, we lose everything that we had prepared. And for the rest of the questions, we only do what we generally were before the classes. And that's where the problem lies. You still have to, you know, pack up yourself back with the same spirit for the next question that you had in the beginning of the test. And that is the most important thing. But I would really like to thank you to come back here and for your kind words. It's very, it means a lot. We get so much positivity, we get so much confidence when somebody like you comes up, and we feel like, okay, yes, it's worth, we should do it, we should give more, whatever we can.
So just keep doing what you guys are doing, but trust me, it's helping lots of people. And plus this PTE, these classes, they're not just helping me for my PTE test. They generally overall helping me in my language skills, in my communication skills, in my writing. When I used to write email a few weeks ago, I know that how many mistakes I used to make, but now I have learned it. So everyone out there, just don't think I want 20 points. No, bro, it's not gonna work, guys. It's not gonna work. If you put yourself 100% into it, that you are taking these classes to learn something for yourself. This is a skill set. You will live this with forever. Anyways, I don't want to disturb you guys. It's my third time I'm telling Miss. I've got lots of words to say, and I've got lots of potential. I wouldn't even stop saying and talking. So I think it's better I should mute myself, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.
All the very best from all of us. Congratulations from all of us, and we will all pray and hope that for whatever purpose you gave, your task will be fulfilled very soon.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
All good. Bye bye. Take care.
Can I say something in Hindi, Miss? Can I say quickly?
Yes, please.
Miss, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया Miss. आप जैसी कोई टीचर नहीं है Miss. मैं कहता हूँ आप नंबर 1 है. Thank you. मैं इतनी हो जाता कि नहीं यार ये मुझसे नहीं हो सकता. लेकिन Miss आपका
means a lot. Thank you.
और Miss जो आप जैसे जिस तरीके से आप फेस एक्सप्रेशन देती थी, मेरा आप बोलती थी फराज, I was not expecting from you. I said, oh,
That
come on.
comes now. You know, sometimes after the class, I used to feel that I should not have said this. Maybe, you know, some of you can mind, but that
No,
just comes
miss.
naturally. I feel a connection when I teach.
Yes,
It's
miss.
like, I feel like, no, I'm not expecting this. And afterwards, sometimes I feel like, no, maybe he took it in the wrong way, or maybe she took it in the wrong way. I'm like,
Nah, miss.
no, that's okay.
I know
I
my
still have
weakness.
to.
I knew my weakness and I made it straight. I'll take only 30 seconds more. My weakness were, if someone is expecting something from me, I know I can do that. I can definitely do it. Miss, you won't believe what Varun Bhai said about me. He said it to me in Hindi. He said, भैया तुम 90 वाले हो, तुम ये छोटी छोटी गलतियां कर रहे हो, तुम पछताओगे. Like he said something like that. He definitely said, भैया आप 90 वाले हो, you're just making very silly mistakes. So that thing in my mind, and I got, oh no, I can't do it. If Varun Bhai saying I'm getting 90, no, I wouldn't be able to do it. But anyways, I got it.
Definitely.
Thank you, miss. Thank you. I want to take
All
that.
good. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's get back to work. We really hope something out of so much will help anybody of you. Where were we? Okay. So we have to start with reorders. That's your first question. And please try that you solve it in 2 minutes only, so that you are doing time management. And post your answers. Okay. Yes, anybody left to post the answer for the reorder? Messing A, all of you. Okay, let's look at the hints first. What were the words which served as hint at the time? So we have to find out which time they're talking about. The sport resembled something between rugby and what we think of as football today. So definitely it's going to be something about past tense because they say at the time means some time period and it is resembled in past tense. The newly formed American Intercollegiate Football Association held its first championship game on Thanksgiving Day in 1876. So we have a time, and we are talking about Thanksgiving Day, and Football Association had its first championship game. Since then, so since when, we first have to talk about some time period before this. Since then, the Lions game on Thanksgiving has become an annual event taking place every year except during the World War II years. So so now that you know the use of since means from that time period till the present time. So since is always used when you take something from, bring something from past till present. So this is still present till now. It's happening as an annual event, except for these few years. By the 1890s, more than 5,000 club, college, and high school football games were taking place on Thanksgiving, and championship matchups between schools like this and this could draw up to 40,000 fans. So this is, we have a time period, and we are saying that club, college, and high school football games were taking place. So many games were happening on Thanksgiving. The American tradition of college football on Thanksgiving is pretty much as old as the sport itself. So, this was your first sentence because this very clearly and generally introduced the topic that we are talking about an American tradition. What is the tradition of playing football, college football, on this Thanksgiving Day? Is a very old tradition. The NFL took up the tradition in 1934 when the Detroit Lions played the Chicago Bears at the University of this in front of 26,000 fans. So here also we have a time period. One thing that we should be very clear about reading the sentences is this is going to be a chronological order in any way because they started saying that it's very old. So obviously there's the information will start from when it started, then how it gradually developed, then developed, then developed. So it has to be a chronological order. So which one is the first one? Like the first sentence is E, and after that, what should be the starting of the sport? So obviously when it was first held will be the starting, right? So the B sentence will be the second one because here you just said that it is very old. So very old means it should be happening one day for the first time. The newly formed American Intercollege Football Association, they had its first championship on Thanksgiving Day in 1876, past tense. And that is where you had to link A at the time because it is past times and the sport resembled something between rugby and what we know football. So obviously at that time it was not as clear as today. So they said when it started it was kind of a mix of two games. So that was at the time means this time 1876 when it started it was something like a mix of the games. And then if we look at the years, one is since means till now, one is 1890 and one is 1934. So you could have easily gone with the years. First it will be 1890, then 1934, and then the present day. The since will be the present thing coming at the end. So this was the order. So you just messed up A. I could see all right pairs. EB is correct, DFC is correct, but just A is messed up here and there. So it was, if you had confused it with other years, it cannot come with 1890 because then we are using the proper word that high school football games were happening. And here also, um, they took up the tradition in this year when this team played with the other team. So we are not explaining the game here. So here in the third sentence, we were more talking about the game itself, the sport. What was the sport at that time? So that will come after B sentence, where we started that this started in this year, and at that time it was more like mix of two games. But anyhow, even if one of your sentences is messed up here or there, rest of them are correct, so it should be fine. So your target should be like 50-70%, 50 to 70% reorders. So if 3 out of 5 is a good score. Still any confusion, anybody in this question? Good, Ben, very good. Two minutes only, not more than that. Okay, an easy one. So this said, this should have been correct. Researchers have now studied seal pups only a few weeks old. So what we have is we have researchers, we have seal pups, baby seals only a few weeks old. This vocal flexibility means we have already talked about some kind of flexibility in voice, vocal flexibility, makes seals an excellent animal model for studying the evolution of human speech. Can baby seals adapt their voices to sounds? There's a question mark. The pups, so here we have only pups, lowered the pitch of their voice when they heard louder noises. So the answer to the question is given that they can adapt. So that's why we will start with C, which is the first one. After that, the pups, and here we have seal pups. So this will come first. First we'll say seal pups, then we'll say pups. Also, this says this flexibility. So in the first sentence, we haven't talked about any flexibility. The flexibility is talked about in D sentence. So first D will come, and then we will refer saying that this flexibility. And what was the flexibility? Lowering the pitch when they hear louder noises. So this is the change, flexibility that they can do. And this is being referred to as this flexibility. Right? Hasib, and you first will say that researchers have studied something, then you will talk that what they have studied. You did everything, the conclusion and the research, and then you said researchers have studied seals. How can we put the beginning in the end? Any questions, anyone in this particular question? Who has got it correct? Okay. Question number 3, and you have 2 minutes for this one as well. Okay, let's first look at the hint. So this said, first, we must bear the arbitrary nature of something and something. Identity is thus a necessity in a constantly changing world, but it can also be a potent source of violence and disruption. Second, so this should come after first. How can these two? So these two means we should have already talked about some two components. We cannot start saying these two. So we are left with only one sentence to be the first one. Yes, I do understand it has a thus, but we don't have any other option as well. So we have said this multiple of times. You can never select an answer just based on words. This has this word, so this cannot come first. This has that word, so it cannot come first. There's no such rule. It's just that you have to weigh the sentences with each other. This has does make sense, but the other ones are not possible. Then you should select that one as the first one. So identity is thus a necessity in a constantly changing world. Then they say, how can these two? Because you talked about necessity and disruption. Violence and disruption is negative. Something which is a necessity, like water is a necessity, oxygen is a necessity. Those are positive things. So they said, how can these two contradictory aspects of identity be reconciled? And then you go one after the other, first this and second this. Right? Any questions? Anyone, any confusion in here? All good? Oh yes, sorry, Swapna. How many marks is like you get 1 mark for every pair. So if you have written B with D, you will get 1 mark. If you have written D with A, you will get one more mark. If you have written A with C, you will get one more mark. So this will be a total of 3 marks divided into 3 pairs. So you have written A, C, D, B. So you'll get only 1 mark for this, for A and C together, because D, B is opposite. So you won't get marks for that. These two means necessity and violence. No, violence and disruption both are negative. Necessity is something positive. You say identity is a necessity, but it can also be disruption. So these two things, how can these two contradictory things be combined, reconciled? Right? Means one positive and one negative. How can we say that both of these things are important? Or how can we go with both the things together, one positive and one negative? Okay, one last question for yours. Please try to find out the hints for yourself. Missing on some hints. I'll mark the hints and see if you want to change your answer. Maybe representational art would cease to exist, future tense. Maybe this can happen. But this day, so but is very important. This day and age may witness its death through the camera. So it means whose death is going to happen through the camera. And but means we have to go contrast to something. A cycle of abstract and representational art began with the first scratchings of prehistoric man, a complete sentence, and all of you are correct in finding that. With film, there is no need to produce finely detailed historical records manually. The camera does this for us more efficiently. You can understand that camera can do the things earlier we need to do the paintings manually, but now it's not required. From the abstractions of ancient Egypt to representational classical Rome, returning to abstractionism in early Christian art, and so on up to the present day, the cycle has been going on. So this was the second one, because here they were still talking about the same topic which was being talked about in the first one, that there's a cycle of abstract and representational art which we have got from the prehistoric man, and then these things they started, and then classical Rome, and then abstractionism to early Chinese Christian art till present day. These things have been already in trend. And then we have the negative, but this day and age may witness its death. It means this cycle which is going on, its death through the camera. This is general, that this thing can end with the camera. And exactly how, why are we saying that this is going to end with the camera? Because now there is no need to produce finely detailed historical records manually. The camera does that for us. We just need to store the pictures. We don't have to record anything else. And this is what we are expecting to happen in present. So past, then present, and then future. And what is the future? Maybe this art is going to exist, cease to exist, means it will no longer exist in future. Sometimes, yes, we do get reorders which have all the three tenses, past, present, and future, and they flow in order. So if you are, when you're reading your sentences for reorders, see if there are different tenses, so you can mark them. This is future, this is past, this is present, this is past. So you can then club them together. Most of the times, the past ones will come together, the present ones will come together, and the future ones will come together. And most of the times, the order will be past, present, and future. So yes, you can have tense-based reorders as well. Okay. Keep your target at 50%. 50%, by this I mean like consistently 50%. Every time it should not be going below 50%. If you're getting 50, sometimes 60, sometimes 70, but more of the times it is 50, it is more than enough for what you can do, what you can prepare for the exam. User G, you will have to improve. Okay. So let's move on to reading blanks. Here is your first question. 2 minutes. Try to solve it in 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, not more than that. many people into a baseball game? So for the use of into, it's very important to have movement. Like, okay, those who haven't watched the preposition videos, please go and watch them. They're very important because a number of students have given the feedback that in the exam they got blanks on prepositions, and a lot of them, not like one, two. They said like they were all of the blanks were based on prepositions. So it's very important that if that happens with you, you should be prepared. You cannot say people were going into a baseball game. One favorite sound of many people dash a baseball game, at a baseball game. So when they have gone to watch a baseball game, is the crack of the bat when it hits a ball. Usually, fans recognize that sound as something good happening for their team, a base hit, or maybe even a home run. The pitcher throws his baseball dash home plate. So you throw the ball towards, so ball is thrown always towards because it's a movement again. It's going towards as a movement. Towards home plate, the batter quickly decides if he should swing or not. If he does and times everything perfectly, he will place his bat in front of the ball, making a dash between the two. So with a, it should be a noun. How many nouns do we have? Two, connection or attachment. So better bat and ball makes a connection. They don't make an attachment. Because the ball was traveling in one direction. Now see here, traveling means they're talking towards, going towards. It's still in process, still in movement. Traveling in one direction, and the bat forces it back the other way. Rapid vibrations in both the bat and the ball occur when they smack dash each other. So here it will be into because there's a movement. Both the things are moving towards each, the bat and ball. So it will be smack into, just like they'll crash into each other, just like that, smack into each other. Those vibrations quickly cause the air molecules to vibrate too, and the sound waves dash. So we are in present tense, I suppose, because these are the facts that they are explaining. Yes, simple present tense. They cause the air molecules to vibrate and the sound waves dash. So we need present tense. We'll go with are. Sound waves are created because have been will be perfect tense, and we are talking about facts, so they will be in present tense again. Right? Any questions? Anybody? Any doubts? Okay, and here we have question number 2. 2 minutes for this. Please post your answers. Which tense is the last sentence in? Then why are we selecting present tenses there? Do this in the exam as well. Okay, Mr. A was born on this date in France to an aristocratic family. When he was a teenager, he fractured both of his legs, dash never healed. So it's right what you have selected, which, because it's a situation. So his legs never healed and he remained a diminutive size for the dash of his life. This is also easy, rest of his life. While recovering, so there's a connector between two commas. As I said, when it is between two commas, we should always read it in the beginning of the sentence. Dash while recovering, he practiced his art. So something negative happened in the previous sentence. And in this sentence, something positive is happening. Like he still did his art. So it's however, because we are going opposite. So his legs never healed, never recovered, but still he practiced his art. So but still means however. As an adult, he rejected this lifestyle and moved to this place. There depicted the rowdy nightlife of many dance halls, cabarets. He used the dash colors of the Impressionists. Okay. He used the colors of the Impressionists. The sentence is complete. Still, we have a blank. And what is written after the blank? Colors, which is a noun. That means we need adjective. What kind of colors? So any word that can describe kind of colors, we have intense colors, deep colors, and nothing else is an adjective. Rest we have verbs. So out of deep and intense, intense is a better way for describing colors. We won't say colors are deep or colors are shallow because that's also a meaning of deep measurement. So we'll go with intense colors, means dark colors of the Impressionists, but applied the colors in a large flat areas enclosed by outline. The result was an art that dashed with life and energy. So past tense is what we needed. That throbbed with. Don't go with meanings. I don't know the meaning of throb. That's why I did not select it. You just go with what tense they are writing. And if you have only one word in that tense, just blindly follow that. So the result was an art that throbbed with life and energy. Any problems? Poor performance. As I said, after so many days, poor performance. Good, Sahil. Good user G. Very good, Savita. Okay, third question in 2 minutes. Sorry, yes, correct. Let's have a quick discussion. This says, imagine a single policy dash on one industry which would, if enforced consistently, stop fossil fuels causing global warming dash a generation. So again, the preposition is very important, on, and what are we talking about? Policy. So you have to think from law perspective. So imagine a single policy and we impose policy, yes, imposed on one industry, which would, if enforced consistently, stop fossil fuels causing global warming dash a generation. So it will stop global warming within a generation, means just one generation within that global warming will completely finish. And then they say a dash study by the universities of this and this, published Tuesday in the International Energy Journal Joule, explores the economic dash of imposing a carbon take back obligation on the global fossil fuel industry. So a study by the universities, the sentence is complete. Study is a noun. So we'll go with adjective. What kind of study? Any word that can describe study. Yes, we do say groundbreaking with the word groundbreaking discovery, means this is something which is very, very useful, something really very good for the future. That's something we use groundbreaking. It is used with invention, it is used with discovery, it is also used with study. So groundbreaking study by these universities, they published in some journal. It explores and sorry. So when you have comma to comma, we should not read this part. We should just say a groundbreaking study by these universities explores the economic dash of imposing a carbon take back. Economic dash, something that goes with economic, suggestion, implication. We don't have anything called economic suggestion, but yes, we do have economic implications, means economic consequences, economic results is what we use with implications. Economic implications, and how do we know? Because they talked about affordable in the next one. Low risk route to net zero emissions, means they were talking about economic in terms of money terms. So there's no suggestion, money suggestions, but we do have economic implications. To net zero emissions, particularly if dash by conventional measures to reduce near-term fossil fuel demand. So with by, we go with ed form, and what we have with ed is concluded by conventional measures or complemented by conventional measures. And how can we understand the meaning of complemented? Like this drink is complimentary. So complementary means this is free, add on to what you buy. This will be complemented by, if you they meant to say that if you put this study or if you impose this obligation plus you put the conventional measures, that will be really, really good. That is complemented by. Also additionally, if you do some additional measures, it's going to be really good about global warming. Innovating, where in the which is it, 1 to 3rd blank, it should be innovative, Kajal. Innovative study, not innovating the study, because as I said, we need an adjective. So innovative is the adjective form of innovation. Right? Any other questions, anyone? I saw somebody writing from in the second one. So let's read this. Imagine a single policy imposed on one industry. So a policy, stop fossil fuels causing global warming from a generation. They are not causing global warming from a generation. From is used when you mention the source of something. So the source of global warming is not generation. So we want to stop it within this generation so that the next generation does not have to face this global warming thing. Right? Innovative can come with the also. There's no problem. The innovative idea. An innovative idea. It's fine. All right, second last question, number 4, and we'll be left with one more for today. 2 minutes for this. Good, very well done. I was expecting everybody to get the last answer correct with active passive voice. The realization that dinosaurs are related to birds raised the obvious dash that some dinosaurs had feathers. The sentence here was complete. Dinosaurs are related to birds. Still, we have a blank. That means we need ly because related is a verb. And we had two options, definitely related or closely related. So, closely, as you all have selected, makes more sense with the context. They are closely related to birds, raise the obvious dash. So with the, it should be a noun written after. Things like obvious are adjectives in that case, they are not nouns. So anything that is a noun here, if you have gone through the grammar videos, you will know that everything that ends with ity is a noun. So is this a capability that dinosaurs had feathers, or is this a possibility that dinosaurs had feathers? So this is a possibility. Fossils of Archaeopteryx include well-preserved feathers, but it was not dash the early 1990s that clear dinosaur fossils were discovered. So not till this time means not until this time. So until comes with years given. And then in the end, they said particularly well-preserved fossils of feathered dinosaurs dash during the 1990s and 2000s. So these fossils were discovered. If we'll say fossils of feathered dinosaurs had discovered, that will mean fossils had discovered something else. If the fossils are the things which were discovered by someone, so it will be were discovered by someone. So had is used when the subject has done the work. Fossils have discovered someone, then it will be has, have, had. But if they were discovered by someone, then it will be were, was, is, something like that. So fossils were discovered during 1990s and 2000s. Any questions? Any doubts? Okay, so we have the last question for today. 2 minutes for this. Led comes with to. Lead to, led to, not on. So again, prepositions are important. So what we have here, dash in active learning grew as the COVID-19 pandemic challenged educators to find new ways to engage students. So what we have in capitals is interest and importance. So we use importance with importance of something, and we use interest with interest in something. So again, because of the preposition, the answer will be interest in active learning grew as the pandemic challenged educators to find new ways to engage students. Schools and teachers dash new technologies to adapt, while students faced negative psychological effects of isolation. So schools and teachers dash new technologies. So they are in past tense here, faced. So we should also go for past tense. And what in past tense we have, one is incorporated, one is brought. Can we say schools and teachers brought new technologies or incorporated? Incorporated will go with technologies because incorporated means they included new methods in their teaching style. So included means incorporated. While students face negative psychological effects of isolation, restlessness, and inattention, dash on by quarantine and remote learning. So all these things were brought on, means they were the results of. So we can say brought on by quarantine and remote learning. The pandemic made it clear that dash approaches to education may not be the best way. So which approaches? Any word that can describe approaches, older or traditional. Older would be second form. We'll go with traditional approaches. May not be the best way to learn, but questions persisted about why, what active learning is, and how best to use it to teach and dash and excite students. So first forms of verbs are being used. We should also go for first forms and a positive word: teach, engage, and excite students. Right? Any questions, anyone? Any doubts in this particular question? Importance was wrong. No, I was not expecting importance here. You should be knowing that we use importance of something, not importance in. So these were all the questions that we had to do today. I hope you have got something of value, something new, or at least motivation. Importance can be used with to very rarely. Right? So full on motivation, that's the best thing. Okay, so those who are going, these are all the questions that we had to do today. Yes, you are free to go. Please come back tomorrow for the class at same time, 6:30 p.m. Yes, I am in the campus, but yes, I am in the campus. Those who are going, bye, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. And please do come back. Very good, Sahil. Yes, those who have texted me today, you'll get the reply tomorrow. For sure. Okay, take care, guys.